What is going on, everybody? Let's go. It's that time of the week again. Welcome to Elevate Mentorship Call, week number 14. We are live. My name is Joey Wilson. I'm a Chairman 100 here with I Am Mastery Academy, and I am your host. If you're brand new on these calls, Elevate Mentorship is a 26-week series where we bring on some of the best, the top earners in the company, some of the best in the industry worldwide, and to help you guys take your life and your business to the next level. And so if this is your first call, and maybe you've missed some of the last ones, what you guys could do is go to my YouTube channel. It's just Joey Wilson. You could search it. And there's the whole lineup of all the previous speakers that we've had on these calls. And I'm telling you, it's absolutely worth it. You know, it's cliche to say we have some of the best speakers in leadership in the industry, but I've said that before. I said that before I came to this company. And when I was at the last convention, I was just sitting there right up in the chairman section, listening to all of our speakers. And I'm like, we are blessed. We really are. We have some amazing leadership in this company. We have some people that have been through, stood the test of time through this industry, all the ups and the downs, but found the breakthroughs to get to where they're at today. And that this one of the speakers, or one of the leaders in the company, one of the top earners we have on this call tonight, and I'm super excited for. But so listen, it's a 26-week series leading to Elevate Convention in Orlando. And that's where thousands of people are going to be flying in from around the world. And it's like a family reunion, right? We get the convention center and we're there for the entire weekend. It's recognition, it's celebration, it's leadership training, it's everything. But this is just a small sliver of what's going to happen at convention. And so for me in this industry, guys, you know, I've been doing this for 10 plus years. These calls have been very, very important for me, very detrimental for my success in the industry, because listen, I need my batteries recharged. I don't know about you, maybe you don't, but for me, this is a business, right? This is a real business. There's ups, there's downs. There's times that I thought to myself, dude, am I ever going to make this work? There's been times in my business that I'm thinking, is this really for me? But every week when I would get on the company calls and listen to the rising stars, I mean, there's moments that I vividly remember, just like, oh man, dude, listening to that guy on that call and the things that he said, I'm going to tweak my business, or I'm going to implement this, and that's going to help me take my business to the next level, or just give me the energy in general to keep crushing it through the week. We didn't do it on Zoom calls back in 2012, 13, 14, when I was getting my business kicked off, but we did it on something called freeconferencecalling.com, where you'd listen in. And it was so important to me. I'd be in my car and I'd put it on the Bluetooth, and I would just listen to the stories and be like, wow, this is crazy. These are people just like me, average people with above average goals and dreams that just want to win bad enough, that just want something different bad enough. And I always wondered for years, like, dude, am I going to make it work? But when I'd get on these calls, I would just get a little more belief, a seed of belief in my mind that, hey, maybe I can actually do this thing. And so from week to week, right, I just kept getting my batteries recharged. And that's what we're doing here. We're not just bringing on people that are good at speaking, or that think they can do it. These are people that have done it at the highest of levels in the industry. And so here's what I'll tell you. I would encourage you to really focus over the next hour and pay attention and really listen to what this speaker has to say. Take notes, right? We know the reality. If you're not taking notes, you're probably not going to remember the information. So if you're going to be on this call anyways, you might as well take notes, because I guarantee you there's going to be someone on this call that's going to pay attention, and they're going to hear something tonight, and they're going to be like, dude, it's already done. Let's go. It's game time. I'm going to add that into my system. I'm going to implement that mindset trick to help me elevate. Right. And then, So make sure you're taking notes. Make sure you have your team on here. If they're not on here right now, shoot them a message right now and say, hey, bro, get on this call. I promise you it's going to be worth your time. But then also a quick disclaimer, there may or may not be money talked about on this call. So income is not guaranteed, right? your success or failure depends on your own skill set and personal effort. I was cool with that. It's basically saying if you don't do anything, you're not going to make any money. But if you have a burning desire, work ethic, and you're teachable and coachable, and you follow our system with I Am Mastery Academy, you can take this thing as far as you want to. Okay, so that being said, let's jump in to the speaker. Guys, listen, I've known this guy for a little while, and I've built a relationship with him, and I'm impressed. I'm really, really impressed with what him and his wife have done. They're true professionals in this industry with values, with morals, with integrity. They've been top earners of other companies. They've been in this industry for 13 plus years. They've been consultants for companies in this industry, and they made a decision a few years ago to plant their flag here with I Am Mastery Academy. And this is the legacy run for them. And they have built a dream life using this as the vehicle. For real. He's a family man. He's a husband. And when COVID and lockdown happened, he didn't agree with some of the policies that were happening out in Canada. So he said, you know what? I don't need to be here. I don't need to be in Canada. And he took his family, and now they live on an island somewhere in Panama. Like, he gets to do whatever he wants, whenever he wants to do it, because he made a decision years ago that he was going to get good at this industry right here. And he's also a Chairman 50. He's an MMX educator, a mindset educator. And so he knows exactly what he's doing. He knows exactly where he's going. And we're very blessed to have him on this call tonight. So give it up. Type fire in the chat. Type 777 in the chat for my brother, Chairman 50, Greg Greenough from Panama. Let's go, baby. Hey, you can take the call and you can close it out when you're done. I'll be right here taking notes.
Amazing. Amazing. Can you hear me, Joey?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's see if I can get my camera to work. Can you see me?
I got you.
Not that that's a blessing anyways, but can you see me?
Yes, sir.
Amazing. Well, thank you for the introduction and the kind words. Greatly appreciated. And, you know, obviously I'll echo that back. You know, what Joey's putting together for you guys, everything that he said at the beginning of the call, I could echo all of it in the sense that, you know, I remember when I got started in this industry, and, you know, you go to a meeting, like, just like Joey, you know, it was 13 years ago, almost 14 years ago when I got started in the industry, and you'd go to a meeting and you'd get inspired. You'd hear other people's story. You'd get excited. And then, you know, you'd go talk to people and you get punched in the face a little bit, right? Like, because you're going to talk to new people. You're trying to turn, you know, non-believers into believers. You're trying to show the value. You're trying to educate. And, you know, some people see the vision and some people don't see the vision. And so you get beat up a little bit, especially in the beginning. You know what I mean? Because in the beginning, you know, it's the hardest and the easiest time to build a business. So I want to talk to the new people. And actually, this is good for all of you. This is good for all the leaders on the call. It's like, sometimes if you've been in the, you know, in the profession, if you've been here with I Am Academy for a year, 2, 3 years, 5 years, you can forget what it was like in the beginning. And I'm not just preaching at you. I'm telling you, I can forget sometimes, you know. And I remember, you know, when I take the moment to reflect and look back, I'm glad that Joey said everything he did at the beginning of the call, because it reminded me every week I would go to that weekly meeting and I would hear somebody else's story that inspired me, right? I would hear some obstacle that they overcame and how they overcame it. They would teach a skill set that they learned, and I would go and apply it into my business the next week. And it was like getting plugged into a battery charger, like he was talking about, getting re-inspired. Because listen, you know, I say this jokingly, but life's tough. Sometimes you got to wear a helmet, you know what I mean? And coming and plugging into these calls, you know, getting to corporate events, it's kind of like putting on your armor, almost your shield, right? It's, you know, you're borrowing other people's belief and inspiration until you build your own belief. And, you know, not all people, but most people come to believe, you know. And I don't know if you can relate to this, and I'll get into the context of the call, and I promise you, we're not going to be an hour. You know, people say, hey, Greg, can I pick your brain? I'm like, it ain't going to take that long. But I forget what I was saying. I made myself laugh, and I get, you know, it doesn't take much to distract me. And hopefully that gives you some hope too. You know what I mean? Let me say it like this. I read a quote about my second year into the profession, and it was by Harrison Ford. I think most of you guys know who Harrison Ford is, right? And he said, I found the key to success. And I don't know why this stuck with me so well, but if you're taking notes, I would encourage you to write this down. This wasn't me. This was Harrison Ford that said it. But he said, I found the key to success. He goes, I just stayed on the bus a little bit longer than everybody else. And I don't know why that stuck with me. You know, there was 1,000 people, you know, that quote was read at an event, and, you know, there was 1,000+ people at the event. And I can promise you 990 of them, it probably didn't stick with them, but for some reason it resonated with me. And I just, you know, it gave me a thought, and I formed an idea that, hey, listen, if I stick around long enough, if I plug in and I do the work and I'm diligent and I'm willing to learn, eventually my time will come. Now, just because you're on the right track doesn't mean that you're going to win. You know, like if you're on the right track and you're not moving, you're going to get run over, right? But I don't know why it resonated with me so much, but I just remember it sticking. It's like, okay, so I got to stick around. You know, yes, I've seen people's stories where, you know, they got started and they went chairman in 4 or 5 weeks, right? Well, that wasn't my story in the beginning. You know what I mean? You know, we came to IM 3 years ago. We just had our 3-year anniversary. We went chairman, I think, in 7 weeks. And everybody's like, oh my God, congratulations. You went chairman in 7 weeks. I'm like, no, I went chairman in like 11 years. Like I was 11 years in the profession by then. You know what I mean? And so I just want to encourage you guys as we get into this, because I'm going to give you 3 things that you can apply, because the topic of what I want to touch on today, you guys, is, you know, Joey's probably heard me say this a dozen times in the last week, but this is like my mantra for 2023, going into 2023. But you know, we can't control the results, but we definitely control our activity. Sorry, I'm learning to talk with the new teeth, so I'm lisping a little bit. You know, for those of you guys that are taking notes, and I would encourage you to, just like Joey said at the beginning of the call, you guys, you're probably not going to remember. You know, they said Einstein retained like 7% of whatever he read, saw, or heard in an hour. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm not Einstein. So that puts me at about 1%, right? So I want to encourage you, if you don't have a paper and a pen, not that I have anything really, you know, there's nothing going to come out of my mouth that's, you know, new under the sun. Everything's learned. But I may say something that I learned along my journey that you can take and you can apply to enhance your life. You know what I mean? Because these are things, these are principles, these are ideas, these are concepts, these are skills that I've learned over my almost 14-year journey that have helped me achieve a level of success in the industry. And I know that if it can work for me, it can work for you too, if you're willing to do the work, right? So that being said, another thing I would encourage you to write down is this. You see, business demands results, right? Okay, so, but I want you to hear this loud and clear, because this is where I used to beat myself up in the beginning. I used to compare myself to other people. I used to look at people going across the stage that were getting these promotions, and I wasn't going as fast as them. You know what I mean? And I remember looking at them and having this like, what's wrong with me? You know what I mean? But what I learned from a mentor, right, was he said, Greg, you can't control your results. You can't control the results, but you can control your activity. So that's what I'd encourage you to write down. Always remember, you can't control your results. You can't control the results, but you can control your activity. And here's the promise. If you're taking action, right? See, if you're an ambitious sower with excellent seed, eventually it's going to land on fertile soil, right? You just have to do your part, right? And that's, you know, being an ambitious sower with excellent seed. Would you agree? Drop a 1 in the chat if you would agree that here at IM Mastery Academy, we have, you know, good seed. We have all kinds of academies that are teaching people how to create their own economy, create multiple sources of income from home, how to multiply their money in the largest financial markets in the world, developing skill sets, right, where they become more valuable to the marketplace. Would you agree that we have excellent seed here at iMastery Academy? So what's the variable? It's you, it's me. See, Joey doesn't have a different comp plan than you. He doesn't have a different owner than you, right? He doesn't have different products than you. We all have the exact same opportunity here. The only variable is me. The only variable is you, right? So you get to decide if you're going to be an ambitious sower, if you agree that we have excellent seed, right? I'm of the opinion after 14 years of being an entrepreneur that It's not worth being an ambitious sower if you don't have excellent seed. You know what I mean? But I know, you know, that we have excellent seed here. And so I choose to be an ambitious sower. And I would challenge you to do the same thing. Okay, so with that being said, let's get into tonight's topic. And that is this. Here's my declaration to you. My hope is that after this call, that you'll make the same declaration for yourself going into this new year. And for me, here it is. 2023 is going to get the best of me. 2023 is going to get the best of me. Not new year, new me, right? Nothing wrong with that. Sorry if I sounded facetious. But I can control my activity, right? So 2023 is going to get the best of me. My hope is 2023 gets the best of you too, right? People say, what does it take to succeed at a high level? Everything you got, right? So I'm going to give you 3 things tonight that you can do. Actually, not that you can do. I'm going to challenge you to do them as soon as we get off the call, okay? Now, before I get into this, let me take a couple minutes and just give you some context here. Why it's important for you to do these 3 things right after we get off this call, okay? Here's why. Are you ready? 95% of North Americans, 95% of the global population control 5% of the money supply, 5% of the wealth. 5% of the population controls 95% of the wealth. Let me break it down even more for you the way my wife says it. Imagine 95 squirrels on this side fighting over 5 nuts. And over here, only 5 squirrels sharing the abundance of 95 nuts, right? Okay. So these 3 things, if you do them, will help you become part of the 95% or part of the 5%, sharing in the 95% of the money supply, creating wealth in your life, not wealth, abundance. I like that word abundance a little bit more because abundance just means more than enough, right? So the first thing that you're going to need to do when you get off this call, and here's the thing that's upsetting to me because it's easy to do, but it's also easy not to do. Success is easy. It's easy to do. It's also easy not to do. Most people miss it because of the simplicity of it. It's super simple, right? It takes a few little key things and then just consistency over time. And then the law of large numbers take over, right? But most of us don't stay consistent long enough. We don't stay on the bus long enough, yes, for success to happen in our lives. We live in this microwave mentality of a society today where we want everything yesterday. We want to go to the drive-through for our food. We want to, like, all of these conveniences are all great things, but I don't know. It's just like they've programmed. I mean, the society is programmed. I'll say it like this. I read a book a while ago, and this was actually the title of the book. I encourage you to get the book. But it said, "Wired for Success, Programmed for Failure." Isn't that true? Like, if you think about it, see, God, I mean, you're God's highest form of creation. You're created in the image and the likeness of the Creator. You're fearfully and wonderfully made. Our brains are the highest form of supercomputer ever created. Like, I don't know the exact number, but I saw something on a meme one time where it said our blood vessels in our body is enough to go around the earth like 150 times or something crazy like that. Don't quote me on that one. You can go Google it. It was a while ago when I read that, but nevertheless, like, you're fearfully and wonderfully made. You're the highest form of creation. And yet we don't believe. It's insane to me what we settle for, what we put up with. And it's not because of the way that we're made. It's because the way we're programmed. So know this, God has wired you for success. You're literally designed for it. You're made for it. But out there, the world, TV, newspaper, radio, your peers, sometimes family members have been programming you, me, for failure, right? And so this is why it's so important to get onto these calls, because you get an environment of people that are winning in life, that have learned some philosophies and some skill sets and applied them in their lives and created results, right? And they're inspiring other people to do it. And here's the thing, you're going to learn some things tonight. You're going to get excited. You're going to get inspired. And then you're going to go talk to new people, and they're going to, they're going to beat you up a little bit. They're going to challenge you. They're going to say, I don't know if that thing's going to work. I don't know if that's real. I had a friend that used to do one of those things. You get what I'm saying, right? And so this is where your personal choice comes in, okay? This is why it's so important for you to do, right after we get off this call, these three things. It's just stacking little wins, right? Because over time, what ends up happening is you build a belief system that's bulletproof. You build a self-image that's impenetrable. Here's the thing. Most people don't go after success because they don't believe it's possible for themselves. And here's the next thing I want you to hear, because I was on this journey, is that the reason that most people don't believe it's possible for themselves is because they haven't built a great self-image, a self-belief, right? Here's how you can do it, okay? It's by giving yourself, it's discipline. This is the magic word, discipline. See, the good book says that discipline is the beginning of all wisdom. Bob Proctor says that discipline is giving yourself a command and following it. And it's the little things, guys. It's giving yourself a little command and then doing it. And then doing something, and then saying you're going to do something, telling yourself you're going to do something just a little bit bigger, and then doing it. And you start to stack these wins. And then what ends up happening is you start to believe in yourself. And then you become known as a man or woman of integrity, and a person who does what they say they're going to do. And then you build influence with people, and they follow you, and they want to build with you, and they want to work with you, because not only because you believe in yourself, but because you have a great self-image and self-belief, because you built it, just like a muscle, just like a skill set. And every single person on this call can do it. Okay. So the three things that I'm going to give to you tonight that you should do, you could do, easy to do, easy not to do, whether or not you will do is completely up to you, right? So if you want 2023 to get the best of me, get the best of you, first thing you need to do, obviously, is you need to have a goal. You need to have some goals. And you need to write them down. Right? So here, I'm going to touch on this just a little bit for you right now. Okay. A goal is not, I want to be wealthy. Okay. Who doesn't want to be? But it's so vague. It's like, if you think about this, you could go give somebody that's homeless on the street $100 bill, and in his mind, he's going to be wealthy because he had nothing. And now he's got an abundance. You give him $100. You know what I mean? So you got to get clear. What is it that what is this? What is something? Okay, let's just pause for a second. I want you to feel this. What is something that you must achieve by the end of next year? You're willing to fight for it. It really matters to you. Like, really matters. And why? Why does it matter? And hey, listen, this might take some time, this exercise. But when I work with my leaders, and they get into a rut in their business. And by the way, we all get into ruts. We all get into pullbacks. It happens a lot in business. Business does not, like entrepreneurship, let me tell you, it's a jungle out here. That's why goals are so important, because they give you energy. A real goal that matters to you, it gives you energy. See, Napoleon Hill said in the book, Think and Grow Rich, the desire is easily measured by the intensity of the pursuit. In other words, how bad do you want it? Like, how bad do you want it? See, a real goal, real vision is going to pull at you. It's going to get you up out of bed a little bit earlier. It's going to have you staying up a little bit late at night. When your friends are going out for drinks after work, it's going to have you going home and getting on to Go Live, right? You follow what I'm saying? So what is it that you must achieve by the end of 2023? I'm going to share my goals with you because I need to bring these three pieces in for a landing so you understand how they all work together. But number one, if you're taking notes, you need to have goals and they need to be clear. Okay. I'm going to give you my examples here in a second so you understand what I mean. The second thing that you need to do, if you don't already have, is you need to get a day planner, a paper day planner. Okay. For a couple of reasons. Number one, nothing is respected unless it's inspected. If you're not tracking things, how do you measure it? I was reading a book by a billionaire a while ago, and I mean a while ago, probably 4 or 5 years ago, but he said the number one rule in business, measure. Rule number 2, measure. Rule number 3, measure. If you're not tracking your daily methods of operation, how do you measure it? If you can't inspect it, how can it be respected? Okay, so you have your goals, right? Then you got to reverse engineer what are the daily methods of operation you can take that are going to help you achieve that goal. And I'm going to show you, because I'm going to show you my goals, and then I'm going to show you the things that are on my daily task list. And you see at the bottom here, these are the tasks in my day planner. Okay, this is how I track it, what my goal for the week is. And then here's my daily schedule. These are the things, this is what I have scheduled for my day. This is an example. I wrote this out for this call, okay? And then number 3 is get a notebook or a binder. For me, it's a binder. And this is non-negotiable, okay? And inside of this binder, every morning before I face the day, I tell myself who I am, whose I am, what I believe, what I value, what my goals are. See, I'm programming myself before I go face the world. Because let me tell you, if you don't tell yourself who you are, when you go out and face the world that day, the world's going to try and tell you who you are. If you don't have a plan for your life, the world it'll fit you into somebody else's plan. You know what they got planned for you? Not much. Not much. Folks, let 2023 be the year where everything changes. And this doesn't have to be some dramatic, like, I have to change my whole entire life. This is just deciding what it is that you want to accomplish by the end of the year and getting dead freaking serious about it, deciding. Like really deciding. What do I mean by really deciding? Well, the word decide, when you break it down, means to kill all doubt. You know, pesticide, kill pests. Insecticides, kill insects. Decide, kill doubt. How do you kill doubt? You got to believe. Well, how do you believe, Greg? We have to build belief. Belief is something that you have to build. It's like a muscle. It's like a skill. It really is a skill. So if you're taking notes, I'm going to share something with you guys. I'm going to share a bunch of stuff with you, but this I hope you write down. Faith comes by hearing. Trust me. To build belief in an idea, in yourself, in other people, it takes faith. Faith comes by hearing. Belief comes by sight. I'm going to say that one more time. Faith comes by hearing. Belief comes by sight. Okay? So what does that mean? I'm going to break it down for you. My daily method of operation, my morning, so you guys have an example. And listen, I know some of you guys aren't going to do it, and it doesn't matter to me. It matters to you. If you really want to declare that 2023 is going to get the best of me, I promise you, you apply these 3 things, your whole life will change. And I'm not saying that like some freaking enticement statement that your whole life changes right now. No, over the course of this next 12 months, if you do these things consistently, a year from now, you're going to achieve the things that you set out to achieve. And on that, you're going to build a belief system into yourself that's rock solid, and a self-belief and a self-image that's impenetrable. And you're going to become known as a man or woman of integrity that does what they say they're going to do. Not only are you going to believe in yourself, but others are going to believe in you. And that's how you build an army. That's how you develop leaders. And that's how you go out and change the world. One person, one family, one community, one state, one province, one country at a time. All right. If you're ready, go ahead and drop a 7 down in the chat. I'm going to read some of this to you, and I'm being totally vulnerable, but it is what it is. Remember what I told you in this binder? I tell myself who I am, what I believe, what I stand for. Can you all see that? This is what I read every morning. I am loving. I'm compassionate. I am vibrant. I'm trying to read this backwards here. I am charismatic. I'm sincere. I'm patient. I'm faith-filled, right? I'm a good finder. I'm going by memory now. I'm positive, solution-oriented, disciplined, and I finish what I start. I listen emphatically to others and seek to understand them and their point of view and their problems so I can be a part of their solution. I'm a good finder who sees the best in everyone. I look at everyone like they have a big sign on their forehead that says, make me feel special, make me feel important. I love people and I accept them the way they are. I help people change their world by providing the best example is to inspire them to change so they can live a life full of contribution, fulfillment, satisfaction, and happiness. I wish to give all of me wholly and completely to become the best version of myself filled with virtue, love, and excellence. I wish to give the contribution of love, gratitude, guidance, teaching, and training to others so they can live and lead better lives for them and their families for future generations. Then I have a prayer on here that I read. Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. Where there is hatred, may I sow love, and so on and so forth. You can Google that prayer, by the way. Then on the 3rd page, I have the self-confidence formula. This is out of the book, Think and Grow Rich. Remember, building a self-image, building a belief system, and building your self-confidence is a muscle. You have to work it out, folks. How do you do that? You do that daily. Okay? This whole process that I do, that I'm going to share with you, takes 30 minutes in the morning. How bad do you want it? Are you willing to get up 30 minutes earlier? Right? Then I have my goals. Okay. So these are my goals. These are not income claims. These are not enticement. These are my personal goals. Okay. So my goals, these are musts for me, by the way. Still don't know how I'm going to do them. I just know I'm going to freaking do them. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to learn what I need to learn. I'm going to hire who I need to hire. I'm going to go where I need to go. I'm going to read what I need to read. See, that's a decision. You follow what I'm saying? It's a decision. These are musts for me. I don't know how yet, but I'm going to figure it out. Every one of you guys can do this on the call. Okay. So here's my goals. My goal, December 31st, 2023, hold me accountable too, right? Eric Worre says, decide what you want, go tell the world, and then figure it out. Okay. So December 31st, 2023, my goal is to be 230 pounds. Okay. So check this out. I'm 255 now. What are some things that I might need to be tracking on a daily basis and making time for in my day if I want to lose 25 pounds in the next 12 months? I would say there's probably a cardio thing in here, some weight training, right? Hello? So one of the things that I'm tracking on here is gym, cardio, and stretching. My goal is 6 days a week. So the days that I go, I put a check mark in here, right? This is how I track it. And there's weeks where I only go 2 out of the 6. And it's like, Greg, you got to pick up the slack here. Let's go. You know what I mean? But every week, I schedule my week. This is how you follow what I'm saying? If it's not measured, if you can't inspect it, it's not respected, right? I have some monetary goals, okay? And so in order for those to be happening, there would have to be some prospecting, following up, building relationships with new people scheduled in. So this is where this comes in on the tracking. See this where it says 5, 5, 5, 5? I learned this from a mentor of mine, my 2nd year in the industry. And he called it the 5-5-5 rule. And I added a couple 5s. And I'm going to give them to you right now if you're taking notes. I would encourage you to take this. This literally is what has built consistency and has helped us earn the money that we've earned and build the teams that we've built in this profession. There's one simple little thing, the 5-5-5 rule. Here it is. Build 5 new relationships 5 days a week. Build 5 new relationships, right? 5 people a day, 5 days a week. This can be somebody that pumped your gas. It can be somebody at a grocery store. It can be somebody online. But you go out of your way to develop a new relationship. It's called an active candidate list. We're networkers, right? So we need to build a big network. And this isn't about pitching them right away. This is about genuinely being interested in other people, right? You're gonna create way more friends in a way larger network in a way faster time by being genuinely interested in other people than trying to be interesting or impressive, okay? The world has enough people trying to be impressive and, you know, look at me, right? And we comment, we like, and that's all good and dandy, but not you. You're a professional. So you're going out and being genuinely interested in other people, okay? Then the next 5 stands for prospect 5 people a day, 5 days a week. The third 5 stands for follow up with 5 people 5 days a week. Most people won't get started the first time you talk to them. Here's the thing. I'm going to digress for a second. And I'm sure there's been times where you've gone and talked to 3 or 4 people and they all signed up right away. And you're like, I'm the king of the world. I got this figured out. Trust me, dum-dum, it wasn't you. I'm talking to myself right now because I've caught myself doing this so many times. But it wasn't you. It's not because you showed it to them and it was their first time ever being exposed that they signed up with you because you're so amazing. The seed was planted somewhere along the line. Maybe they read a book by Robert Kiyosaki called Rich Dad Poor Dad, or maybe they saw a video of Alex Morton, or maybe somebody talked to them about trading a couple of years ago, or maybe they had a brother that invested in cryptocurrency a little while ago. But somewhere along the line, there was impressions being made. Hello, you guys follow what I'm saying? And you just came around at the right time. The timing was right in their life, okay? The fortunes in the follow-up. You guys have heard this, yes? And the reason I'm sharing this with you guys in the manner that I am is because things are never as bad as you think they are, and they're never as good as you think they are either. You're not as good at this as you think you are, and trust me, you're not as bad at it as you think you are either. And so there's going to be streaks where you go talk to people and they're all going to sign up. That's not because you're all great, okay? Just remember that, okay? And then there's going to be times where you go talk to 20 or 30 people and none of them are going to get started. And don't beat yourself up because that has nothing to do with you. You can't control the results. You can only control your activity, right? So if they don't get started right away, what does a true professional do? The fortune is in the follow-up. They follow up, right? And they track. See, this is the thing. If you want to go pro, you need to measure, you need to track, okay? So when you're talking to your prospects, I would encourage you, you know, when you're talking to them, they're going to share the reason or whatever, why they couldn't get started. And you put a little check mark beside their name the first time that they say no or not right now, or I need to talk to my spouse. And then you follow up, right? And then you put a second check mark beside them if they didn't get started the second exposure, whether you plug them into a call, right? Because you're promoting them to another call, or you plugged them into a different video, or whatever the reason is that you followed up or they saw something new. I promise you, you guys, very few do this, by the way. I promise you, if you're actually tracking it on the follow-up, by the time you've put the 6th or the 7th check mark beside their name, they will get started. They will get started. Most people don't make it past the 2nd follow-up. Don't be most people, okay? The fourth 5 stands for touch 5 people a day, 5 days a week. And I don't mean like a physical poke in the shoulder, right? I mean, there's people already in your life, family members, work associates at your job, people that maybe work for you at your small business, or they're in business with you here at IM Academy. But reach out and touch 5 people with an encouraging message or an encouraging note, or just, hey, I see you, right? Add value, add value, add value. The marketplace pays for value. The more value that you add to the marketplace, the more that the marketplace will pay you. All right. So does everybody understand the 5-5-5 rule? All right. Okay. I have other goals, investment wise, things of that nature. So what I'm doing, I'm just going to show you the things I'm tracking to reach my financial, business, health, and relationship goals. So for me, the things I track every day is read binder and goals. Okay. I showed you guys my binder. This is something that'll change your life, you guys, because no matter how bad of a day or a week you're having, if you're consistently over time telling yourself who you are, what you believe in, what you stand for, what matters to you, what your goals are, what you're working towards every day over time, you're going to build a bulletproof belief system, because as a man thinketh, as a woman thinketh in their heart, so are they. When it goes from your head to your heart, it's game over. That's when doubt disappears, right? When it goes from your head to your heart. But that most people don't do the mental activity to make that happen, right? When I understood this, right? Guys, you can believe whatever you choose to believe. Why wouldn't you believe in the best? I know a lot of people might tell you that's not true, but it is true. I've done it. I've changed just about everything I believe. You can too. You get to decide, are you going to program yourself, or I should say reprogram yourself, or are you going to continue to let the world program you? Because remember what I told you, the world has planned for you? Not much. So if you're okay with settling for what the world has planned for you, by all means, you probably shouldn't be on this call. But if you've had enough of being told who you are, what you're worth, what the world thinks that you should think, if you had enough of that shit, then I want to challenge you to program yourself, and you can do it. God literally gave you the faculties to do it. You're co-creators. You can create anything you want. So anyways, read binder and read goals. I track that. Next, gym, cardio, and stretching. Oh, by the way, for our young folks on the call, people have asked me, hey, because I'm 43 now, almost 44. People, Greg, what would you have told yourself when you were 20 or 25? Stretch, bro. That's what I would have told myself. Stretch. Some of you guys will get that in a few years. All right. Okay. So I have some pretty big trading goals this year as well. So an hour, I trade for an hour, and then I do a Go Live session. Trading and education. I track that. Okay. 5-5-5-5. And then enroll a personal customer. So my goal this year is to personally enroll 120 new customers. So in order to do that, I need to enroll at least 10 new personals a month. So I've rounded it off to enroll 3 customers every single week. So I know if I'm doing the activity, the 5-5-5-5 rule, it's a mathematical certainty. Here's another thing. I'm just going to complete side note, okay, why the 5-5-5 rule is so important in our profession. It's because you guys have probably seen this where people have come in super excited. They've gotten started, and then they probably said something maybe 2 months in or 2 weeks in for some of them. And you heard them say something like, and maybe you've said this too, because I know I did when I got started. I'm running out of people. I'm running out of people to talk to. Listen, if you decide to go pro, that's an impossibility, because what professionals do is we build an active candidate list. And how do we do that? We go out of our way to create 5 new relationships 5 days a week. 5 different new people 5 days a week. Just reaching out. Hey, man, I love your profile. Like giving them a sincere compliment. And start being genuinely interested in them, asking them questions, okay? I'll give you a little hint on something you can do I learned a long time ago. It's called FORM, F-O-R-M. This will help you improve your marriage, your business, your sales, your schooling, all of it. FORM stands for F for family, O for occupation, R for recreation, and M for motivation. If you're asking people questions and being genuinely interested in those 4 areas of their life, people love to talk about themselves. But this is how you become genuinely interested in them, by asking them great questions. They're going to share with you who they are, what they believe, what they like, what they don't like. And that's how you build a relationship. It's how you build influence with people, right? And eventually, as you continue to develop that relationship, right, they're gonna tell you a problem they have or an issue. And being the person of value that you are, you'll go out of your way to add value to them and help them solve their problem. Here's the best definition of an entrepreneur I've ever heard. An entrepreneur is somebody that solves a problem at a profit. The more problems you solve, the more profit you create. And this doesn't always go to I Am Academy either, by the way. Okay? But trust me, if you're adding value and you're sowing value, it comes back around 30, 60, 100-fold. For example, a little while ago, I had a guy that I built a new relationship with. You know, we're in conversation, we get to talking, and he starts talking to me about some, how much he was paying in taxes. He's from Canada. I live in Canada. I have an amazing tax lawyer in Canada. Okay. And so I introduced him to my tax lawyer because I knew he could help him. And he did. And see, now here's the thing. I never pitched him the business. It's not the right time for him. But I know this, when the timing's right, he's going to come to me. He's going to ask me what I do. I also know this, is that when he understands what it is that I do, anytime he comes across somebody that's looking for an extra stream of income or wants to learn how to trade, who is the first person you think he's going to think of? Probably me, because I helped him. Yes or yes? Guys, you have no idea how many personal enrollments I have in this profession that were referrals to me from other people that I helped with something completely different that wasn't even my business. Does that make sense? So folks, the 3 things. 1, get crystal clear on what it is that you're setting out to achieve this year by the end of the year. Like, must. It has to happen. Like, it has to happen. You're willing to fight for it, right? And not some vague, like, okay, maybe you're saying, hey, I'm going to be a chairman by the end of this year. Why is that important to you? Like, why is it important for you to be a chairman? Like, challenge yourself, like, question yourself. This is how you build that strong why. Why is it important for me to be chairman by the end of this year? Well, because, I'll be making about $12,000 or $13,000 a month. Okay, well, why is that important to you? Well, because then I can pay off this credit card debt and, save up for a down payment for my house, right? And well, why is that important to you? Well, I don't want to owe no man, no thing. Okay. Like, you know what I mean? You start to stack up reasons. That's how you define a goal, right? People always say, you got to have a why that'll make you cry, or a why that you're willing to die for, right? I say you have to have a why that you're willing to fight for, willing to scratch for, willing to crawl for, willing to overcome yourself and your comfort zone for. Ooh, that one. Number 1, you're going to do is you're going to set your goals for the year and your intention. Number 2, you're going to get a day planner, and you're going to schedule your week, and you're going to track the activities that lead to the goals that you're saying that you want, whether it's financial goals, health goals, relationships, spiritual goals, right? What are the activities that you must do on a weekly basis in order to make those a reality, so you're not chasing a fantasy, right? And number 3, you're going to get a notebook or a binder, and you're going to write down those things that matter to you. Like, what is it that who is it that you want to become? Not what, but who. What do you want to believe? What are the characteristics that you want to build in yourself? The skill sets. You're going to tell yourself who you are every morning, what you believe in, what you stand for, and what you're working towards. And then you're going to go face the world. You're not just going to roll out of bed, open up Instagram, and then go face the world and let the world continue to tell you who you are and what you deserve and, all that bullshit. Okay. You're going to start living your life by design, not default. Yes. All right, you guys. May God bless each and every one of you. I'm going to pass this call back over to Joey. Have a phenomenal night.
Wow, let's go. Let's go. I appreciate you, brother, for hopping on and taking time out of your day in Panama to do this call. Guys, I hope you got some value out of this as well. And with that being said, we will see you next Wednesday. Let's pack it out. Let's get it. I don't know who it's going to be yet. Maybe you're on this call and you have a chairman that you haven't seen on this call yet. Let's get him on the next one. But again, guys, I'm just finishing up dinner over here. I got to get my daughter to bed. Hope you guys have a blessed night. Let's get it. Peace, guys.